Here's the lineup for the visiting Boston Red Sox. At third base, Wade Boggs. At second base, a standout in the series, Marty Barrett. At first base, Bill Buckner. In left field, hitting cleanup, Jim Rice. In right field, Dwight Evans. Behind the plate, Rich Gedman. In center field, Dave Henderson. The shortstop, Spike Owen, batting eighth, and the pitcher who'll take his turns with the bat, Roger Clemens, on the mound.
Here's the way the Mets will line up on defense. As Davey said, the guys who play the best will be in the lineup, and this is what he goes against right-hand pitching. Wilson, Dykstra, and Strawberry in the outfield. Knight, Santana, Backman at second base. Hernandez at first. Carter behind the plate. Ojeda, the pitcher.
Bobby Ojeda making his second World Series appearance. He won Game 3 at Fenway 7-1. He made 2 starts in the playoffs. He was 1-0 against Houston, picking up the victory in Game 2. Pitched well enough to hold on for Jesse Orosco to win Game 6. He was an 18-game winner during the year, and he came to New York in the deal with Boston that sent, among others, Calvin Schiraldi to the Red Sox.
Ojeda had only 2 fly balls in his last game against the Red Sox. 7 ground balls, fastball, curve, slider change. But as you heard Davey Johnson say, he'll throw you that dead fish, that change of pace. His biggest plus, changing speeds. He will come inside, but he can spot that ball on the outside corner. He is a good pitcher.
It will be noisy here at Shea on Saturday night. It is a festive, highly enthusiastic crowd as Wade Boggs awaits the first pitch. A strike. One to Boggs, followed by Barrett and then Buckner. Breaking ball missed, 1-1. The plate umpire from the American League, Dale Ford. Working the bases, John Kibler, Jim Evans, and Harry Wendelstedt. Joe Brinkman on the left field foul line, Ed Montague on the right field foul line. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there's a hopper off the glove at third of Knight, and Santana can't pick it up, and Boggs is aboard. So we'll await the judgment from the 3 official scorers.
It's pretty apparent that Boggs was going to go to the opposite field all the way. Knight just does flick it. Santana looks like he might be able to make a play, but he can't find the handle. And Boggs is on.
With a base hit, the official score just flashing the sign. Marty Barrett hitting in the number 2 slot with Boggs aboard. Interestingly enough for Barrett, he has been on base 12 times in the World Series. He has hit in all 5, the only player to do so, and yet he has failed to score a run. Strike.
It'll be a pretty good battle because Ojeda knows that Barrett will be trying to hit that ball to the right side. He's got a hole between first and second. Hernandez has to hold Boggs on, and when you know what a hitter has to do, it gives you a bit of an edge. But it'll be a pretty good battle.
Dykstra shading him a tad towards right center. 0-1. Change hit to right center, but that's where Dykstra is. So they played him that way, and that's exactly where he hit it. 1 out. And Bill Buckner coming out.
Note that both the first 2 hitters, Vin, hit the ball to the opposite field. The off-speed pitcher, they're going to try to lay back and look for that pitch and go the other way, because you know how he tied him up the last time he faced him.
So Buckner with the right side of the infield open. Hernandez on the bag, guarding with Boggs. The outfield is just about straightaway. Dykstra come back over more towards straightaway than he was playing Marty Barrett.
Surprised he's not shading him towards left center field.
Boy, this crowd came here to make some noise tonight. 0-1. And that's one of the many reasons an unexpected guest at Shea Stadium. Took the expression, why don't you drop by, literally and figuratively. positively.
That's about the only way to beat the traffic in this town.
1 ball and everybody got a kick out of it. 1-0 the count to Bill Buckner. And I'll tell you what, Wally Backman almost jumped out of his uniform when that man came down in front of him at second base.
And why not?
Oh, are they up Saturday night at Shea? 1 ball and no strikes. Ball 2.
It's not even a full moon.
Buckner having a look at Rene Latchman. Latch going through the signs. Boggs an interested spectator too at first. As you can say, they're pinching the middle. Backman way off to his right, Santana to his left, so they're both shading Buckner up the middle. And he missed him 3-0. So they're expecting Buckner to go that way. 1 out, first inning. In there.
If there would be a pitch he could pull, it would be the 3-1 pitch. But with Ojeda, his big strength is changing speeds. He'll throw you something besides the fastball when he's behind.
Three and 1. We'll watch Boggs. He's holding, and it's fouled away. 3-2. So they didn't play run and hit on that one. We'll see what they do this time. Remember, Buckner with the bad legs is a definite double play possibility. Second in the major leagues in grounding into double plays. So we'll see if that means that McNamara will turn Boggs loose.
I don't think he would, because Buck doesn't strike out that much, and he's got to stay away from double play to get Rice up there.
In game 1, they didn't have the runner going, and Buckner hit into the double play in the first inning. Boggs is not going, then goes late, and the ball is hit to straightaway center to Dykstra. Two out in the first inning. Wade Boggs holding at first, and here is Jim Rice. Rice, 8 times an All-Star, up there in a spot in the first inning. It is interesting that Jim Rice, who is a power part of the Red Sox attack, has only had 3 at-bats in the World Series with a man in scoring position. And half of his at-bats have been leading off an inning. Fouled away, 1-1.
And even though Ojeda is not known as a power pitcher, they're playing Rice straight away. Dykstra in center field, right in line with the bag. Take a look at that. He's got a lot of room in right center and left center.
Remember, it's 338 down the lines, 371 falling away to 396, and 410 straight away center. And he came inside with the fastball. Ball 2. 2-1. On deck, Dwight Evans. Two and 1. Change, and he was way out in front of it.
That's where that fastball on the pitch before that one was so effective. He keeps him honest by coming inside. He's not afraid to come inside, but that's his best pitch, that dead fish.
Deuce is wild on Rice in the first inning. High foul off to the right and way out of play. The temperature at game time, 53 degrees. A little on the damp side. They're talking about rain perhaps sometime tomorrow. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ball 3. Tough pitch to take, borderline.
That's another one of those pitches that you're fooled, but you try to appear real cool like you saw it all the way and just take it. But he had it by him.
Boggs, of course, definitely going 2 out on a full count. Hernandez not holding, and the pitch is in the dirt. So he threw him a 3-2 change, and the Sox have 2 on, 2 out, and Dwight Evans coming up. Much has been said about Bobby Ojeda pitching on 3 days rest. 3 years ago, he pitched extra innings on 3 days rest against Milwaukee, and he certainly is accustomed to the pressure. He won the second game of the playoffs in Houston after a loss. He held off the Astros in the 6th game, and the Mets won it. He won Game 3 at Fenway Park to avert the sweep. And now, of course, pitching the must game of the series for New York. Two on, two out, first inning. Change, strike. A portion of the crowd is doing that sing-song Dewey for Dwight. Not nearly as strong, of course, as the Boston fans when they were serenading Darryl Strawberry. 1-1. Boggs at second, Rice at first, 2 out. High drive up the alley in left center field. That's trouble, heading for the wall and off the wall. Dykstra plays it. 1 run will score on a double by Evans, and Rice holds at third. So Dwight Evans hits the left center field wall for a long double and a run batted in. And with first base open, the left-hand hitting Rich Gedman coming up.
Ball well hit, but played perfectly by Dykstra. He gets that camera in good shape, hits the cutoff man, and with that, Latchman holds Rice at third.
So for the Mets, who won 108 during the regular season, 4 in the league championship series, 2 in the World Series, 114 wins, not enough. And they go in trailing in the first inning against Roger Clemens. Fly ball to right center, a late start, but it's high enough for Strawberry to put it away. However, the Red Sox get a run on 2 hits and lead 2. At the end of half an inning, Sox 1, Mets coming up. We have not had a team come from behind in this 1986 World Series, and the Mets are fully cognizant of that. And here are the fellas who are going to try and do it for the first time in 1986. Len Dykstra in center and Wally Backman at second base. Keith Hernandez at first and Gary Carter clean up behind the plate. Darryl Strawberry in right field. Ray Knight at third. Mookie Wilson in left field. Rafael Santana, the shortstop, batting ninth, the pitcher, Bobby Ojeda.
And the defense for the Red Sox, Rice, Henderson, and Evans in the outfield. Boggs, Owen at short, Barrett at second base, Buckner at first base, Gedman behind the plate. Clemens is on the mound. I must say, Vin, I'm still waiting for Dykstra to at least test Buckner.
Well, we see that might very well be the trick tonight. Roger Clemens is attempting to clinch his 4th championship in the last 4 years. He was the winning pitcher in the final game of the '83 College World Series. Then, while pitching for the New Britain Red Sox, he won the Eastern League Championship. In the 7th game of this year's American League Championship Series, he beat California. And, of course, now he's out there trying to clinch it for Boston tonight.
Outstanding fastball. He can ride it high, and that's the pitch. Even talking to Tom Paciorek before the game, he said, you better lay off that high fastball. He can sink it. He's got a slider, curve, a forkball, and he can work that strike zone in and out and up and down. And I think that's rare when you can work a strike zone up and down.
Well, Lenny Dykstra will be the first one to test him, followed by Wally Backman and then Keith Hernandez. Remember, where Ojeda is working on 3 days rest, Clemens is working on 5 days rest. So Dykstra right after him with a full swing.
He's going to have to work that count to 3-2, although Clemens has outstanding control.
0-1 to count to Lenny Dykstra. One ball, one strike. It was Dykstra who started the Mets on the road back when he hit the home run to right field at Fenway Park. And it is Dykstra they look to tonight to get them well once again. There is the attempt, but that fastball was by him, and if he did get it down, it would have gone more to third than to first.
Clemens, in addition to being a good fielder, better than average, has that outstanding fastball, a difficult ball to bunt. They describe Clemens very simply. He's an ordinary pitcher with a 150-mile-an-hour fastball.
Very ordinary. 1-2 the count.
He is something.
2 balls, 2 strikes. You joined us late. Dwight Evans doubled in Wade Boggs, and the Sox lead 1-0. We're in the bottom of the first inning. 2-2. Got him.
And he did it with fastballs. He did not give him any off-speed pitches or anything but that great fastball.
So Dykstra caught looking for out number 1.
And watch where he spots it. That's no accident.
1 away, and Wally Backman coming up, and another threat to bunt. Wade Boggs plays him on the grass. Barrett is at the ready to charge because of the immobility of Bill Buckner.
He and Buckner got a defense set up.
Fouled away, and he was jammed and late. When Backman bunts, he's a .500 hitter. He went 10 for 20 this year when he gets that bunt down for a base hit. On deck, Keith Hernandez. Boy, Shea Stadium is just bristling with electricity and excitement. In there, strike 2.
I tell you, Gedman has a big mitt. I saw it before every game, and I can hear that fastball pop up here. That's like throwing a marshmallow into a pillow, and he can make it pop. That tells you, radar gun doesn't have to tell you how hard he's throwing. He is really pumping.
0-2. Fouled away off third, well back into the crowd. The Mets have not been retired in order in the first inning since game 1. And Clemens blew Dykstra away, and he has the count 0-2 on Backman. Hit foul down the left field line, back in the crowd.
Broke his bat, and he just laid the bat on the ball. That was not even a full swing.
Wasn't a real jam job, but it did the job anyway. He has to get another. No balls and 2 strikes to Wally Backman. Davey Johnson, as he said in his conversation with Joe before the start of the game, did not have a pre-game meeting because, as he said, I've told the ball club 60 times a year. They know what it's about. So there was no meeting, no exhortation, no pep talk. But John McNamara, I'm sure whatever he did say was low-key and brief.
Most important thing he said is Roger Clemens pitching, and the Red Sox know all year when he's out there it's going to be a close ball game.
0-2 to Backman. Got him, and he took something off that off-speed pitch for strike 3. So Dykstra and now Backman caught looking. Take another look at that one.
You can see almost in his delivery that he lets up. He doesn't really push off as hard, and Backman is committed, and there's nothing he can do. Just can't pull the trigger.
Clemens was rather outspoken about the fact he's unhappy with the mound. He feels it's high and slopes too much, so he has to grope for the ground in his follow-through. But it's not a bad beginning with 2 strikeouts on a mound you don't like.
That kind of stuff, he can pitch anywhere.
Here's Hernandez. Keith was reminding everybody before the ball game that he was a member of the St. Louis Cardinals that were down 3-2 in the '82 World Series. And as Hernandez says, I'm wearing a ring. 1-0. Fouled away. Roger Clemens, with 5 days or more of rest, is unbeatable so far. 9-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. 1-0 Red Sox, first inning. On deck, Gary Carter.
Whenever your club scores a run, you have to go out there on defense like the Red Sox. You don't want them to score, but how you get them out is also important.
He had a good swing and a good fastball on the count 2-2.
If he goes according to that graphic and strikes out the side, what a lift that'll be to the Red Sox.
And remember, there were 2 balls hit pretty well to straightaway center, a double off the wall and a high fly ball to right. So the Sox were hitting the ball out of the infield. And that's hit out of the infield, but right there is Dave Henderson. So Hernandez is gone, so are the Mets in order. And at the end of an inning, it's the Red Sox 1 and the Mets nothing. The 1982 team photo of the University of Texas baseball team, and 3 men have emerged to the World Series. Number 1, Roger Clemens. Number 2, Calvin Schiraldi. And number 3, Spike Owen.
I think it's a tribute to all the college coaches. Cliff Gustafson coaches the University of Texas, but so many good coaches. What a quick trip it is to the big leagues now. There they were 82 in college, and here they are in the World Series.
Dave Henderson, followed by Spike Owen and then Roger Clemens. Interestingly enough, Henderson has started more games in center field for Boston in the postseason than he did in the regular season. Ball 1. And as you can see, he is enjoying every minute of it.
It's a pretty good reason to start him, those triple fours.
Well, now 2 balls and no strikes. Ojeda surrendered a walk to Rice, and then the double by Evans for a run. And he's behind now 3-0 to Henderson.
That's not the way he pitches. He's usually ahead.
When he pitched game 3, and Mel Stottlemyre knows full well about that. You might remember Bobby Ojeda went 7 innings in game 3. And in that game, he faced 28 batters, and only 7 balls, including the hits, were hit to the outfield. Well, in the first inning, 3 balls were hit for outs and the double, so 4 went to the outfield. There's a 5th one, and we're only in the 2nd inning. Mookie Wilson. So this is not the same Ojeda that we saw in game 3.
And I think that's a pretty good indication right there, Vin, because Henderson was fooled on that pitch. Believe me, he was fooled, because he already committed himself and got that bat. He did it all with his arms, and it carried that far. I mean, he doesn't really drive it, but that's not the good Henderson swing. He'd already committed himself, and he drove it a long way.
How about the ball he hit against Donnie Moore? That wasn't a good swing. That fork ball that didn't, and yet he hit that thing out.
Yeah, but he's
had so strong.
But he had a better swing at that Donnie Moore than this one.
Here's Spike Owen with 1 out, 2nd inning, 1-0 Boston. Near ball 1.
At best, he doesn't have a picture swing.
No. The cluster of balloons that we saw in Boston has suddenly reappeared over Shea. In there. 1-1. Spike Owen. Roger Clemens on deck. Comebacker right through the legs of Ojeda into center field. To a 1-out single by Spike Owen. That is hit number 3 for the Sox, and it will bring up Clemens.
Looked like a breaking ball, and he sends it right back up the middle. He waits on it, Owen does. You see it. Now watch him hit down on it. Right back up the middle. It's a goal right through the wicket. And with him on at first base, Clemens now gets a chance to help himself by bunting him over, and Hernandez has already set up his defense. He'll be charging pretty hard.
In his previous game here at Shea, Clemens' first at bat found Owen at first, and he was allowed to swing 2-0, which shocked everybody, and he eventually was aboard on an error. Strike. He had 3 trips to the plate in that game. He was aboard on an error, sacrifice, and flied to right.
You have to be careful of Hernandez at first base, because when he goes in and talks to the pitcher, he may say, now in the second pitch, I'll go in a couple steps and go back. You have to be really leery of him. He's always in the game.
Ray Knight way in on the grass at third and committed to come in even more.
There it was.
0-1 to Roger Clemens. He's swinging and fouled it away. Remember, they let him swing 2-0 in that game. That's why we brought it up, and sure enough, he hacked away. 0-2.
I have to believe that John turned him loose trying to pick a pitch, and he picked a pretty good one at that, because it was an off-speed pitch, as we look at Latchman flashing a series of signs. And Hernandez once again in talking to his pitcher.
0-2 to Clemens. Owen held on at first. A gap in left center. Dykstra shading and cheating, and Knight ready to charge anyway. And the bunt is fouled, and Clemens has struck out. Two down in the second inning, and that will bring up Wade Boggs, who singled off and under Ray Knight's glove to open up the game, and eventually came around to score.
He's looking for a particular pitch. If he gets that slow curveball, he'll try to pull it in a hole first and second. Otherwise, that fastball, he'll go the opposite field.
Big breaking ball, and Boggs takes away ball one. Knight way off the line, and Santana is shading up the middle. And he fouled it off. 1 ball, 1 strike. One run, 3 hits for the Red Sox. Nothing across for the Mets, and we're in the top of the second. There goes Owen, and there's a base hit through the hole, vacated by Backman. On his way to third is Owen, and they'll hold him on a strong throw by Strawberry that's cut off by Hernandez. What a job of execution. Backman broke to cover second, and Boggs drilled it right to the vacated spot.
And it was a slow curveball, a ball that he can handle now. He starts, and Owen gets a pretty good jump. There you see the ball shooting by him, a slow curveball. He was able to pull it, and you can see Backman over near the bag.
Well, you try and outguess Boggs, and you figure left-hand hitter, maybe he's going to go the other way again. So you have the second baseman cover, and he burns you. And now here is Marty Barrett, who lined out in the first inning to Dykstra. Change for a strike.
Pretty apparent that McNamara is using strategies, picking pitches. He did on Clemens, and he did on Boggs, and he did with Owens running.
Boggs at first. Owen at third, 2 out. Showed him the fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
When they talk about Ojeda, they talk about him. He has to sell his fastball. He has to show you enough of his fastball that you go with his arm speed. And if he sells you that, then he can throw that off-speed pitch, and he's got you. But here's a tough hitter who can go the opposite field with him.
1-1. And he goes foul, trying to take him to right field. 1-2. The Sox scored in the first inning, but they left 2. They've left 11 men on base in each of the last 2 games, and they've averaged a little more than 9, almost 10 men left on base in each game of the series. One and 2, and the Mets fans want an out. Line drive to left, and it's a base hit. Scoring is Owen, stopping at second is Boggs. And the Sox are on top 2-0.
And once again, Marty Barrett's right in the middle of it.
For Davey Johnson and the Mets, they can't afford to fall back too much, especially with Roger Clemens on the mound for Boston. So immediately there'll be activity in the Mets bullpen.
I tell you watch that Marty Barrett, and then you think about him on the pregame show as we look at
Rick Aguilera,
when he said Thurman Munson may be looking down thinking one of the big hitters that should break his record, but I did it.
Spike Owen coming in with run number 2 in the inning. So it is a different Bobby Ojeda indeed, and the tip-off, as we said, the ball's in the first inning that will hit out of the infield. 2-0 Red Sox. And here is Buckner, who flied to center in the first inning, with Boggs at second and Barrett at first. That hit and run play was a key play so far. And that's driven to right, but Strawberry going back almost turned the wrong way and makes the catch. That ball fooled him, but Darrell stayed with it and made the play. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 more left for the Sox. That makes it 4. Now he has to twist and go back to get it. And at the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 Boston. At 6-6, he was able to reach up and pull it down. The Red Sox leading the Mets 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning, and a couple of the outs have been hit right on the button. The line drive by Barrett in the first inning and the last out by Buckner in the second. We pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network. Ojeda has been shaky, and Rick Aguilera continues to throw in the bullpen. So it could be that Davy Johnson is already thinking ahead for a hitter. Meanwhile, Gary Carter, Darryl Strawberry, and Ray Knight coming out. Ball 1. The Mets are accustomed to winning at Shea. They set a Mets record with 55 home victories this year. Breaking ball strike, 1-1. So it would appear as if he has command of all of them.
That was the first curveball, and where he threw that one was almost impossible to hit on that outside corner. He's had all his pitches over the plate so far.
Fastball, and now he has Carter in a hole, 1-2. Dykstra and Backman struck out. Hernandez flied out, and now Carter leading off the second inning.
It'll be interesting to see how he works on Carter as we look at Darryl Strawberry, because you remember they're spotting that ball the outside part of the plate, and when they do that, they've been effective against Carter.
On the hand, so he had to come in, and Gary had a pretty good rip, and it's still 1-2.
That's that high fastball, a tough pitch to hit off Roger Clemens. Again, he works that strike zone up and down, and it's a rare pitcher indeed who can control that much of the strike zone.
1-2. Fastball fouled away.
See where those foul balls are going?
Off to the right. He's not getting around on it.
They're just not getting around. The gun says 96, but I'll tell you, the catcher's mitt tells a pretty good story when he gets it, because it's just popping in there. Two and 2-0
Boston, bottom of the second inning. Ball 3. And that's fouled away off to the right. In fact, Gary was a little out in front of that pitch. He was guessing, and he hit it more up the end of the bat. So you know how hard Clemens is throwing. The hitters are really off stride with him. Outfield straight away. High pop foul off to the left. Gedman coming over along with Wade Boggs at the dugout. No play. That will give us a chance just to mention that Rick Aguilera has stopped throwing in the Mets bullpen.
They're not going to give up on the foul balls very soon in this ballpark because the wind swirls. Watch Gedman. He knows he's near the dugout. He just found it right there, so he's going to tiptoe a little bit, but he knows he can't get it.
3-2 to Gary Carter. And that's hit to center. Going back on it is Henderson to haul it in. So Carter hit it fairly hard, but right at the center fielder. One down. And Darryl Strawberry coming out. Ball one. One away, second inning. Red Sox 2, Mets nothing. On deck, Ray Knight. Two and oh.
Well, if he's ever going to get a fastball, this would be it. You can't really be guaranteed that, but Strawberry will be looking for it. He's way ahead of him. 2 balls and no strikes.
There it is, and he was a little late. It was in a good spot, and he couldn't get around on it.
Strength against strength, and he just didn't get around on it. And 2 balls and no strikes. A pull hitter, a guy who can hit the low fastballs, a tip off on how hard Roger is throwing.
2 and 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2-0 Boston, second inning. Ball 3.
Vin, Jim Murray once used a line on Nolan Ryan that he could use on Clemens. He pitches like everybody forgot to bring their glove.
He's 3-2 to Darryl Strawberry. Fouled away. Remember, he went 3-2 to Carter, and now it comes back 3-2 to Strawberry. High pop foul off third. He didn't get around on that one. However, it's back in the crowd. As good an indication as we have in the early going, at least, is the inability for the moment of the hitters to get around on Clemens.
And it's pretty apparent that that ball, not only is it hard and fast, there's movement on it. I mean, so far, even though Carter hit that 3-2 pitch after a couple foul balls hard, that ball's alive.
3-2. So he had Dykstra and Backman strikeout. Hernandez a fly ball to left center. Carter a fly ball to center. And Strawberry working on a full count. And fouled off to the left.
And Gedman just goes down and puts down fastball as if they've said, hey, look, we're not going to walk anybody. He's just coming in with that good fastball. Strawberry seems to know it's going to be a fastball and can't get the job done.
I think he's thrown 1 breaking ball and 1 straight change so far. However, he's made 20 pitches in this inning.
Most of them strikes.
Right.
He's not wide.
3-2. Ball 4, and the Mets get their first base runner. So Strawberry at first with 1 out in the second inning, and Ray Knight the batter. Little breaking ball, but it stayed up. Ball 1, 1-0.
Sometimes you do that to kind of break the rhythm that Roger Clemens was in of nothing but fastballs. Remember, Davey Johnson used Howard Johnson against Clemens, and Knight was very unhappy. He wanted a chance at him, and here it is.
On the corner with a breaking ball. 1-1. So Roger Clemens went to a full count on back-to-back hitters, walked Strawberry, missed with the breaking ball tonight, and came back with 1 for a strike, and the count 1-1. Ball 2. Davy Johnson, amidst the noise, quietly hoping that his Mets will do what they've done all year, and McNamara relying on his ace. Fastball. That was one of those borderline pitches that just takes off.
There's no way you're going to hit that Roger Clemens fastball there, because it's a high riding fastball. He throws it across seams, and it seems to bend in the middle. It gets maybe 4 feet from the plate and just shoots right straight up.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It is goosebump time at Shea. This crowd is electric. 2-2. Strawberry goes. Strike 3 on a bad ball. He's in there, second base safely. Knight chased 2 high fastballs to strike out.
And Marty Barrett at second base really tried to decoy Strawberry. The key to this, watch how Barrett nonchalantly goes into second base and takes the throw. He's not just standing there and then walks into it and tries to make the tag, and he thought he had him. Strawberry, a straight steal. He's one of those fellas that Johnson says go when you got a chance. Barrett really did a job of decoying, but Strawberry didn't go for it. He didn't buy the decoy, and he's safe.
And Clemens got away with it. 2 rising fastballs out of the strike zone, and Knight chased them both. So instead of perhaps 2 on and 1 out, you have 2 out, a runner at second, and here's Mookie. Ball 1. He wouldn't chase that fastball. Most of the hitters in the American League, I think, fall into the pattern. If that fastball is anywhere above the belt, they lay off it. It's going to explode and sail on you.
It's alive. It's alive.
One ball, 1 strike. Clemens with 2 strikeouts in the first inning, making a lot of pitches. Again, he's a big man working on 5 days rest. 1-1. Fouled away, and Mookie didn't get around on that. It almost knocked the bat out of his hand.
I bet it did. He made 143 pitches in the playoffs, so I mean, and 5 days rest. It's like Ojeda said. I really think a lot of that stuff right now, especially tonight, it's overrated. 3 days rest, number of pitches. If the Mets lose tonight, they got 6 months to rest, and you know that Clemens is out there saying, "I'm going to try to end it tonight." So forget all that other stuff.
1-2. Got him on the corner. 4 strikeouts for Roger Clemens. At the end of 2-0 Boston. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.
Roger Clemens, now he'll get a handshake from her saying nice going, but watch him. He's searching the bench for his catcher Gedman. There's Bill Fisher, and there's Gedman, because they worked that inning well. Great picture.
To the 3rd inning. Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, and Rich Gedman. 2-0 Boston. Fouled away off to the right, out of play. The Sox have jumped on Ojeda. 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 line drive outs. All 3 outs in the first inning were balls hit to the outfield. 2 of the 3 in the second. So Ojeda is not pitching his game. Fouled away, 0-2.
You know, when I see that picture, Vin, not that I was in it that many times, but when you work an inning and you're really working in sync, the one guy you want to have tell you, hey, good job, is the pitcher. Everything else is mashed potatoes. And that's what Clemens did.
0-2 to Jim Rice. 0-1. Rice walked with 2 out and a runner at first in the first inning. That set the stage for Evans to unload a long double to drive in Boggs. Big change curveball, got him looking. Whoa, what a rainbow job that was.
And there's the cases, selling the fastball, watching the motion, and watch Ojeda. It is a big curveball. You can see him twist it, and Rice is just completely frozen.
Strikeout number 2 for Ojeda. The other one was Clemens trying to bunt. And here is Evans. Hit that long double high off the left center field wall in the first inning. The outfield fanned out straight away. Backman is playing just about on the rim over to his right. He's directed from the dugout. Breaking ball, 1-1.
You know, as you watch Backman at second base, it's kind of a dark park, and he really has to stare in to get the signs. He really bears down. He was almost like bent over. There he goes. He's trying to get Carter's signs. He has to know what the pitch is.
Fastball missed. Ball 2, 2-1.
And when you have an off-speed pitcher with the left hand here, he'll relay it to Hernandez, who depends on him for that. Santana's passing it on tonight.
2-1. Straight change, and he lifts it in the air to Strawberry in right center. 2 down in the third inning. And the batter will be Rich Gedman, who flied to right in the first inning. When Ojeda was with Boston, he was quoted as saying that Gedman was his closest pal on the team. Half swing on that low breaking ball for a strike.
That friendship really ceases in a hurry in a World Series, doesn't it?
A young man who has had his shot and came up empty 4 times, which is shocking in itself. Dwight Gooden. On 1. Another breaking ball. Bobby Ojeda trying to settle down after a rocky first 2 innings. And another breaking ball and a check swing foul. Blatch handling that. Still 0-2. It is a completely different game. You might have seen Ojeda look out and shake his head at Backman. In his other game against the Sox, he had a lot of ground balls. He hadn't had one yet. Got him on the big sweeping curve. 3 strikeouts for Ojeda. The crowd trying to spur him on now, and at the end of 2.5, the Red Sox 2, the Mets nothing. Amidst the roar of the crowd, a rather poignant portrait of Bobby Ojeda. He's out on deck as Rafael Santana checks in at the plate. Ball on the corner. Strike 1. Boston 2, Mets nothing, bottom of the 3rd. Fouled away, and again off to the right. We haven't seen anybody pull a Clemens pitch yet. Breaking ball in the dirt. 1-2. Sox scored in the first and second. The Mets have had 1 base runner, Strawberry, who walked in the second.
Pretty good tip-off on how fast he is. Henderson is way over in right center field. A lot of room in left center. They don't expect him to pull it all.
Just missed with a fastball. He wanted that, and the count 2-2. Clemens has struck out 4. Bobby Ojeda has now struck out 3. Pop off to the right, twisting towards the stands and out of play. If for some reason you missed it in the first inning, Boggs singled off third baseman Ray Knight's glove. Rice walked with 2 out, and Evans doubled in Boggs. In the second inning, Owens singled and with 2 out. A hit and run single by Boggs put runners at first and third, and Barrett singled in a run, and that's it. 2-0 Boston, bottom of the third. Fouled up the other way.
He pulled the emergency cord with that one. Just enough to stay alive. It was by him, but then again, that's what you're supposed to do.
Two and two. And that's it, foul the other way. I guess the first time we see anybody pull one